Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, students and Mr. Ubaidillah. Welcome to this training session of Nusantara project. My name is I will be the moderator for today's training with topic digital business. This training is a part of the Nusantara project and compulsory for all Nusantara project students. Today, we will have the trainer whose expertise is in business field, which will be very useful for all audience to hear his knowledge about this business. Before I start, I would like to explain the rules. The first one is that all online participants will be muted during the presentation. And second, all participants can put the Zoom background, and if you haven't received it, please open the chat room box and find the link in which you can download it from. And then the third one is that there will be a Q&A session after the trainer finished the presentations. And then fourth, the moderator has the authority to choose who will deliver the question or suggestion. And then the last one, all the participants must answer the question in our learning management system, or in short, LMS. Now, I will introduce our trainer today, Mr. Ubaidillah SE, M.Sc, AK, SAS, CA, CPA, CLI, CAP. Mr. Ubaidillah was born in Pamekasan, Madura, October 15, 1985. He received his bachelor in accounting back in 2010, which then he pursued his studies further by attending accountant professional education program in Universitas Brawijaya. Later in 2019, he received his Master of Science in Finance and Management from Durham University Business School, England. He had joined and involved in various work fields, namely Secretary of Integrated Center of Accounting, Taxation, and Assurance Services, Manager of the Operational Learning Development Center, as well as the Managing Partner of UBICO Accounting and Consulting. He had also received various certifications, such as Certified Accurate Professional, Certified Liquidator Indonesia, and Certified Public Accountant, and many others. Mr. Ubaidillah also received an award as the winner of Dragon's Den competition at Durham University Business School, England. He is currently a faculty member of Accounting Department, Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Brawijaya. Mr. Ubaidillah, the time is yours.
Well, okay, thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the time for Miss I from AIBPM. Thank you for inviting me and all the committee. It's such an honor to share with you some of my perspectives. I have some of my insights on digital business. Basically, what I'm going to present is not merely on digital business, but because I'm an accounting, and some people is joining here is from the accounting, I'm going to also see how the digital businesses actually has an impact in accounting, and what we actually as an accountant can do on in this digital business era. Let me share my presentations first. Well, can you see my screens?
Yes, we can, Mr. Ubaidillah.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. I'd like to share in this Nusantara projects. But before I think I'll welcome you all. I heard that all the participants come from various countries. So welcome to Nusantara project. We'd like to see you actually in persons in Indonesia, but it seems the digital business actually has changed us so we can see one another even you are from way in Vietnam, in Thailand, in Malaysia, or any other countries. So welcome to the Nusantara projects. Today, I'm going to talk about digital business and accounting, but here, I think my profile has been introduced. It's just a little bit about myself. This afternoon, we are going to talk about how we see the digital business today, how actually the conditions or the figures from the world today in digital business. After that, we're going to go to the big data analytics. Why I see and I go to big data, because I do believe that we are, as an economist, as accountant, or as a management, we need to have and skills in also data analytics, which requires a digital skills, of course. Yeah, and then we will see the digital business, big data and analytics in business. We are going to see how the world today that the proof that we are now can meet each other, can meet in Zoom, is actually the proof that we are living in the digital world today. The times, even actually, I am now at one of my clients' director's office, and I don't need to be in campus. I don't need to be in another in dorms to see you all, and it is a proof that times and then places, the geographic person has been borderless. So we do believe that the quality of our teaching, so we can have this Nusantara projects from all across the countries, is actually the proof that we are living in the center of Industry Revolution 4.0. Some people say that we are now Industry Revolution 5.0. Whatever it is, we are living in the digital world. We live in where people actually has been living or interacting with, like, artificial intelligence, fintechs, robots, Googles. I see what one of my accomplishment in Google search next movie after the presentations. And then we also have, we live in a big data, insurance tax, and AI chatbots. In artificial intelligence and in big data, I'll give you an examples in accounting, since I am an accountant, but I do believe that you can also understand what I'm going to, why I give you that data. First, we are going to see the global data in the digital business. This data is actually you can see in public, and fortunately, since we have I see you in November, so we have most updated data in October 2022. This is now our digital figures for the global overview, that our total populations in the world is 7.99 billion, where who lives in the city is almost 60%. And from all the populations, 68% is using unique mobile phones users. We need to see these figures so we can see how big it is, the digital business. And then 63% from the unique mobile user, they use internet, which means that even not all phone users actually internet connected, but most of them, 64% of the population, or 5.7 billion people who use the internet actually, who use the phones usually connected to the internet. And they also, by using the internet on the mobile phones, they become active social media users. I'm not sure whether I am active social users, because I'm just seeing their Facebook, Instagram, or anything, just like viewers. Lately, I'm not quite active enough in the social media, unless in WhatsApp status. So this is now the figures from our essential from the digital headlines. These figures actually having a growth. This growth is like a small one, but if you can track the change from from the year 2022 to the year 2021, or maybe before, it is a huge change. COVID has already changed our lifestyle, that everyone has going online. And but for the latest data from October 2022, our population has increased. They have growth. The growth of mobile users has increased 3.2%, which year on year change is 170 millions. The internet users has already been changing to 3.5%, which is a lot if you see it as the global data. And then the active social media users has also been increasing, maybe because we have TikTok, and the internet penetrations in all over the world are now much more wide. It is wider, so we have increasing in the internet users for 3.5%, which is 171 million users. That is millions. Okay, we need to comprehend this data first, so you can see the opportunity in the world, how actually we can do on the digital business. This is the device ownerships from the users, how the internet users use. So they go to, most of them, 96% they use mobile phone, the smartphone, almost like the same, right? 95.8, the feature phone, less laptop, 60%. So basically, we see here from all the internet users, around 96% they use smartphones. See here, they use smartphone for the internet users. Some people use laptop, 60%. We use tablet device. I use all of them basically. I use laptop, I use tablet, I use smartphone. Okay. Games console, you have 20%, and then smartwatch, 28% users. TV streaming device, actually 60%. And then it is increasing 5.3% from last year-on-year data. And then we have also the increasing of smart home device and the increasing users for virtual reality device. How would you see, actually, anyone can see the opportunities from this device ownership? How could you interpret this data? Anyone can raise a hand and give us a thought on this? Any one of you, maybe? So I don't need to talk in one way, right? Maybe someone raising a hand, and then the committee will unmute you.
Yes, please, for any students who can answer the question, please use the feature.
How do you see this data? Anyone can see how you see this data? Anyone? Well, okay, come on. Anyone from Malaysia or maybe Thailand, Singapore, or anywhere? If I see this data, basically you now can think of how I can make a digital business, or whatever business that you can go online that can be accessed through mobile phones, because some of the okay. Some of businesses cannot be reached online, or maybe I have a client where his business can only be reached and through the laptops, while I told him that this data your business needs to be reached through mobile phones. What I mean, it needs to be rich and rich friendly. Okay, user friendly can be reached by a mobile phone, not only from a laptop, because they design a website that is not mobile based friendly. So this device ownership needs to be comprehend for you to set up a business. And then the next data, how they spend the media. Daily, in a daily, people spend 6 hours 37 minutes using the internet. They spend watching television 3 hours, social media 2 hours, 2.5, 2.2.5 hours. Spend reading press media only 2 hours, online and physical print. Okay. Streaming 1 hours, listening, and then podcast 1 hours, game console only 1 hours. See, from this data, they use internet a lot for browsing, but I don't know why the data it only use spending social media only 2.5 hours, but this is the data, which means that most people in average they use 2.5 hours for what is that? 30% of using the internet, they spend their times 2.5 hours out of 6.5 hours, which is a lot. 30% using internet, and then they spend social media, which means that when you are going to do a digital business, you need to go your marketing, you need to be available on social media. Some business doesn't need to be available on social media, but most of them need to be in the social media appearance. Now, from that data, let's see, because we talk about business, we talk about money then, okay? When we talk about business, we talk about money. I know this is not the main purpose of a business, but however, the performance of a business is measured by how much money we create, which means that this is a commerce, how we trade people, we trade in the business. This data is coming from October 2022. 60% of the internet users, they purchase online. 60%. They purchase a product or services online, where the 30% from the internet users, they use groceries via online store. They order groceries from an online store. They bought a second hand, only 14.3%. Use online price comparison service, 24.4%, which means that even if you have an online or offline businesses, your price needs to be competitive. I know this is common, but you know, people almost 25% use online price comparison services. And now, which is actually for me personally, they use a buy now or pay later services has already been increasing to 16%. This data in the year before, we don't have this data. And the data from October, basically, some is available, complete in October 2022. But the next data is actually, if you see the data from January 2021, which means that this is the data from January 2021. They have 81%. And while in October 2022, we have 60% people. Maybe because when we are at 2022, we are in the COVID level, which is very high. That's why people are, most of them, they are buying, what is this? They are buying services or product online. I'm going to get you the data the year after from January 2022, which means that this is data from 2021. The people who use and who buys the consumer goods in internet, they spend, let's see now the money which is flowing in the digital businesses. They spend 988 billion in electronics, which is increasing 13%. They spend fashion 904 billion. Furniture is 436 billion. Toys and hobby 362 billion, and others. We have food here, we have physical media, we have personal and household. But from this data, you can see how the opportunities in selling electronics things in e-commerce. You see also how the fashion is still increasing. If you know how the I don't put the data from January 2021, but the fashion industry at that times is actually the highest people spending money in. So they spend much in fashion at the time in 2022. It means that we are now is used to buy electronics online. Maybe in 2021, COVID has been decreasing, so people, they don't really buy fashion online anymore. So it's decreasing. The money that used to be people spend online, they spend it offline. That's why this is decreasing. The market, I'll go to the market overviews. This is the consumer goods as a categories. This is in January 2021, 3.4 billion. And then value as consumer good e-commerce markets. So in total, 2.4 trillion. See, this is trillion dollars, not rupiah, not Singapore dollar, but it is US Singapore. And then the annual growth of the consumers in the goods for e-commerce markets is 25%. But in 2022, there are basically well, the growth is not that much, 25%. But we see here that in January 2020, in 2021 or January 2022, we have a change. There is also actually still an increase year-on-year change for 10%, which costs 3.7 billion people. They use this is number of people. They purchase goods via internet, and then the annual spends on online consumers, they have already spent 3.6 billion. 3.8 billion dollars. The COVID has already changed our lifestyle. So even from 2021, people buying online 2.4 trillions. And then people buying online now, they spend money like 3.8 billion, which is really a lot. I see this as a lot of money. The average annual revenue per consumer goods is 1,000. So it means that people per consumer goods annual revenue, it means that how every sellers, every users, e-commerce users, they spend the money for like 1,020 million rupiah if it is 15 million rupiah if it is in Indonesia. And then most of them, 60% purchased by phones. Okay, that is the data from the digital business today. If we see this $1 trillion figures, you are as the students, or we are as especially entrepreneurial student. If you are really thinking of doing or becoming an entrepreneur student, you should be confident that the money in the e-commerce is a lot. And remember that the growth from previous years and then the growth to 2021s, there have been a growth. It means that people change. Their lifestyle is now everything they're doing it online. Even if you maybe try to think about yourself, just before 2022, we like to buy foods, or maybe we like to buy clothes or electronic things, we go to the store and we buy it. Now even the store has already been opening everywhere, but people tend still to buys it online because they have already changed that style, and it will be increasing more. I don't know for the 2023, but I do still believe even when the recession is coming, some people may be still saving the money, but most of them are still spending the money through online. This is the weekly online activities that have been updated, and then I'll skip this. Since I'm in Indonesia, I'll give you Indonesians data. And this is the data for the Indonesians. I'm sure because I don't really quite get enough information for from how many countries actually you are. So I give you my country data, where the consumer goods is $14.4 billion. There have been an increase. The fashion is 8.9 billions. The furnitures and everything's there, but however, every categories for the consumer's goods is increasing. See the fashion here, they're increasing 58%. And the money from there, Indonesia, 158 million people are spending online, and then they spend in total 53.8 billion, which is again huge opportunity. They will get it. They will spend the money more and more, and I do believe that opportunity will also increasing. And this is your times to to prepare yourself as a student to grab that challenges. So how that digital business having an impact on our courses? I do here, I take an example in accounting again. We have in accountings, because I actually a managing partner of UBICO, and we are living, and we have some clients from Singapore, and then the clients from United Kingdom. They found us online. From the Singapore, they found us online, and it is because of the digitalizations. Remember that in this kind of data, we live in the digitalizations, where we go from the analog information into the digital formats, and then we go from offline store to online marketplace. We have offline ridings, like taxi. At that time, our taxi in the digitalizations, they really changed the business. They go from, if you want to hire or to take a taxi, you need to go to the booth, and then you see, and then take taxi from there. From now, from your palms, from your Gojek or maybe Grab or maybe Uber, you can have that taxi. That's the use how digital technologies has already changed the business model. And then that what we call as a digital transformations, where it represents the impact caused by the process of digitalization. We have already been there today. In accountings, before 2019, before COVID, there has been a digital transformation in accountings, but it is now, it is now increasing. The large firms, they account for 58%, has already transformed into cloud-based accounting software. The mid-sized firms, they also go into cloud-based accounting software, but still the small firms, they only 45%, they go into the accounting software. This is the impact of digital transformation. And this is also how you see the futures, how you see the opportunities in digital business, especially in accounting, because this is the data that I have. But as a future, especially for you who is taking a course in accounting, you need to be much more aware that there is a 98% chance that bookkeeping, accounting, and auditing clerks, see here is clerks, bookkeeping, accounting, and auditing, administration job, clerical jobs will be automated in the future. And it does happen. It really does happen now. I give you an example how that digital business transformation has already changed us in the accounting data, because my business is in accounting, so that's why I give you an example in accounting, and I'm as an accountant too. We have in Indonesia or maybe in Singapore we have zero. I do believe that people have zero in Singapore, because Singapore zero usually used in the Commonwealth country like Singapore, UK, and then Malaysia, but accurate online everything we have in Indonesia. But if you have SAP, ERP, and Oracle, I know it's also been used in a big company all over the world. Now, in accounting, the impact of digital transformations is machine learning. If any one of you has already tried to use Zero, actually, if you connect the your bank account to the Zero accounts, the system has already learning. If you have this kind of, let's see here, we have, what is this? A transactions from Google Ads, and then the machine Zero, they have a machine learning. They learn how actually we would like to do the generalize the transaction, to record the transaction. So they give us, what is that? They give us a hint that this transaction match to this transaction that you have already recorded, or maybe this transaction should be recorded this way. And then we, as an accountant, just need to be to press OK. There is another much more advanced where if we have already this kind of transaction, and then the system will automatically generalize the transaction into this kind of transactions, this category of transactions. This is an example from my own experiences from my clients, which is I don't need to disclose. In Indonesia, we have also artificial intelligence, where people doesn't need anymore to retypes how the, what is this? To retype how the invoices that you take and then you put it in the bank. You just take a photo from it, and then it will, well, the software will automatically record it from you. I have already, when I was in UK, I see how this digital works. I know, but if it is in Malaysia, I think it's already been common, but not in Indonesia or in many other countries. But since my curiosity is quite high, when I was in UK taking my master's degree, I tried to apply many banks, just want to see how actually the businesses, the digital world has already been in UK. I know it's much more different in each country, but I do believe that you have already, in some country of you, you have already feel it, that there is a change in how we do the transaction in the banks. Maybe in like 3 years ago, we cannot open the bank online, but now we can have a bank online. In fact, actually, my Monzo account, my Wise account, my Monex account, I think my Monex account has already been closed, but my Monzo account, my Wise account is now still active, and I have a transaction from them because I have a client from UK. You use PayPal, I know UK use PayPal. If you have a business, you should have used PayPal. I know it's not quite needed anymore because some banks already have features that they can get a transfer from any other banks, real-time, online, easier, because Visa does it, everything. in accounting too, the business has already been connected to other businesses. We have in Indonesia Tokopedia. I don't know what is in UK. I don't know what is in Vietnam, Thailand, or Singapore. But we have Shopee. I know you know Shopee. Tokopedia from Indonesia, Bukalapak from Indonesia, but Shopee I think is already well known all over the world. And then in this digital transformation, the accounting software is connected to this, can be connected to these all digital businesses. And then the implications then for us, for now and our futures accountants, you need to be in digital, highly digital literate. You need to have a highly digital literacy. You need to learn cloud computing and big data. This is not only for accounting. Evolving regulation for the management, for the economics students, you need to we have a really fast changing regulations for the blockchains, and then for the fintechs, globalizations to outsourcing accounting services in accounting. Or maybe if you do a business, like maybe you have a hobby in what we call marketing, you can have, and you can use Fiverr. Wait a minute. You can use Fiverr to do a job from Malaysia, from Indonesia, to get the job in UK. I did that. I use Fiverr to do that. So that's what you need to comprehend. The industry 4.0 has already changed us in accounting, and also the business too, actually. It enables us to obtain previously unobtainable data in real times. In the last sessions, I will show my students, I don't know whether she's already been here or not. So in my class in digital business, we ask students to learn about big data and to learn how to visualize big data. At least you are, as an accountant or as management or as an economist, you need to be able to do the data analytics, and also to be able to visualize that big data. Because as an accountant or as an economist, this data can be obtained easily now. The facilitate data extraction for large common pool, raising the quality of data, improving the transfer for management, and increasing credibility of relevance and reporting. It does not actually only enables accountants, but also enables us as management. This is how the technology has changed the industry in accountants. We are now having more diverse roles for the accountants. And not only how we do the input for the transactions, but we also able to do the analytics in the softwares. We have specialized accounting software, cloud-based system, mobile accounting, and more efficient client transactions. Even now, I'm in Indonesia. I have a client from Singapore. I have a client from United Kingdom, which is, they found us because they need much more. What is that? They still need to have an expertise, but with much more competitive price. You know, Indonesia, Malaysia, and UK, we have a what a difference in currencies. So that's their advantage. But for us, it is still a big money in Indonesia. Now we are, as an accountant, we have now the broadening role of finance functions. In finance, in the digital base, in the world of the digital businesses, as a finance, whether again you are as management or economist or an accountant, when you are quite needs to change your focus. At that times, people trying in traditional, maybe we only think about the transaction processes, operational tasks, and data gathering, reporting, and internal control. But the people on top, they do the analysis and decision support. Okay. But today the needs of analysis and consulting support, it's much more bigger than the need of the transaction processes. It has already been changed, it has already been replaced by the digital world, because everything has already been automated. So the need and the focus of you as students, you need to have analytical skills. You need to have a critical skills in this digital business era, whether you are going to be an employee or you are going to do a business in the digital world. So the needs of this is much more increasing. We don't need, as an accountant, we as students in accounting, we need to be an accountants now, because bookkeeper will be updated, will be changed, will be replaceable. But when you are really being a real accountant who has a great analytical data, a great analytical thinking skill, critical thinking skills, then you will have a highly value added skills. You need to transform yourself to create the value and value preservations. When you are when you are a student in a digital business, to do that, you need to, again, value creation. To have a value creation, you need to create a value. You need to preserve your value. For me in UBICO, I always tell people that our value is integrated and comprehensive. If you want to talk about business, I can answer you. If you want to talk about accounting, I can be your best friend. If you want to talk about the system or the tax or how the people behave, the consumer behavior, I can be a discussion friend, which is having insightful things that you might know. So you have a growth and change mindset. You don't need you are really, required to have the growth and change mindset. And then you are required to have digital and data driven things to have these value propositions, value preservation. So people will know you to become an insightful persons, insightful employees, or insightful businessmen. You need to have talent and skills, talent management and development to deliver value-adding activities and fulfill new roles. Remember that some jobs today did not exist like 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So that's why you need to have talent management and development skills. You need to have talent, you need to have skill, you need to have a growth mindset, you need to have a learning ability, because employability skills, one of the employability skills is learning ability. You need to also learn every day. And in business, if you want to create a value, if you want to preserve your value, you also need to customer focus. You need to find in the digital business, you need to find what actually the consumer needs. My clients likes us, UBICO, because I know the client needs integrated consultings, where people only comes to one consultant to talk about many things. Even it's not quite deep, but I think this is what they need, and it has been proven. Many people likes to work with me to work with UBICO because it is comprehensive. They don't need to hire another consultants to talk about accounting, to talk about business, to talk about management, to talk about system, to talk about tax. They only need one consultant. So customer focus. You need to find your customer focus based on your business, the business that you are going to build in the digital world. Try to find what they need. Zoom find that people will need tools that enable them to do international seminar like this one. Okay, so that is the key, the four key enablers for finance function transformations. And of course, since the finance function transforms, need all four of them to create the value, and or to preserve the value. You as students need to also have these key enablers, and this is what you need to write, yeah, on maybe your goal book if you have, and then maybe you can put it in the, what is that, in the your mirror so you can see it every day. I need to be digital and data driven. I have already do a mini research how actually my students have a digital literacy, and basically most of students still becoming a user technology as a technology users. But when they are tested deeper to become technology enabler, to become technology developer, or maybe to become technology expert users, most of them are not still quite what filling the criteria, because they think becoming a digital literacy means that I can use mobile phone, I can use laptop, I can do PowerPoint, Excel, and everything. But it's not quite still deep. You need to do bigger than that. But today, what needed by the corporations is big data and analytics. Today, people see us as today people always saying that the data is the new oil. Data is the new oil. That's why you as students in economics, you need to have a digital literacy quite great, but I know it's not quite advanced to be a developer since you are an economist, but at least you have a skill in big data and analytics. What is actually big data? So it is things that we need to comprehend, because big data is not data that only contain 10 rows, 100 rows, 1,000 rows, maybe 100,000 rows. Big data is data that contains huge volumes of data, but it is increasing. The volume is always increasing, and it always changes. That's what we call big data. Big data is larger, more complex data sets. It's not only maybe consists of 4 to 5 columns. It can be more columns that we can see from that big data. The big data analytics itself consists of the capturing data, how you get the data, how you store the data, how you analyze the data, you search the data, and what we are going. One of my students will show you how we are going to analyze and visualize the data. Querying, updating data. We learn about MySQL a little, just to give them an insights or how to to open a little door, to open the key for data analytics. The analysis of big data consumes to find correlations, historical trends, find unusual data anomalies, and use this information to take corrective actions. Even you think that when you say you are having a big data and can do a manipulation of big data, the most important thing for utilizing the data is the analysis, to find the correlation, to find the hidden meaning between in the data. Remember that when we see this is a big data, the scale of data is quite very big volumes. We have 5 feet of big data. This is the volume. The volume is very reach very huge. The velocity, the change of the data, the verity, how what the different forms of data is coming into one data, the value of the data, how you can find the valuable data, how you can see the data is valuable, how the valuable data for how many Shopee users actually online today right now, and then what actually they have in their what is that wish list, what actually they have in their shopping cart which has not been checked out. That is a valuable data which is very, very huge. That data can be extracted and can be used to have a corrective action or to make a decision making in business. The veracity, the uncertainty of the data, the discrepancy found in the data, that's what we call the veracity. Some people see as big data as fives, but some people also see it, the fifths of the big data is tens. You can see it from here, but I'll skip that for now. So how use that big data for big data analytics for businesses then? Why I talk about big data here? Because if I talk about how actually digital business, what business we can have in the digital business, I know you can find it everything's in YouTube, or maybe you have already known about cryptocurrency, fintech, and everything. But what I want to open for you is that we are as an economic students, we might not have a skill or capability directly unless we have a cooperations with our students or our coach, with our friends that coming from IT programs. We cannot make huge and or great applications. That's why, at least as economic students, you need to comprehend big data and analytics for the business. What is it? What the value? Yeah, great opportunity for finance to bring more values to the business. Because when you can have a big data analytical skill, you can have that value to improve forecast accuracy, analyzes the past to forecast the future. If you had that data analytics, to improve operational performance. If you're trying to can get a decision on facts rather than intuitions, you can improve your performance of your businesses. If you think you have a business, then that business actually you can see the data, all the orders that you take, all the sales that you take are coming from Singapore for your own for a specific products. Then why don't you try to have the cooperations with Singapore students to sell the products? Because it's much more easier. It will improve your operational performance. It will improve your sales then, because you have rather than having a base in Indonesia, you might go and you have another base in Singapore. Monitoring risk efficiently. That's how, if you have that big data or analytical skills, you can monitor the risk efficiently, sever decision making, anticipating harmful events. If you can see how actually the data, whether your data is actually leading to 2022 recessions, you can see it from your sales today, how many sales you have today, how many sales you have tomorrow, how many sales decreasing or increasing in the last 11 months. That will be giving you a chance to monitor risk, whether I need to have the data, I need to have inventory more or not, since maybe we are going to have a recession, or maybe this recession will come to our country since my sales is now going low. In business, in finance, in the banks, if we have a big analytical skills, you will have a data on credit database to score client risk. If any one of you have been becoming a sellers in Shopee, actually you are monitored by Shopee, whether your store is actually performing well, and then your cash flow is great. If Shopee has known that, and then I'm pretty sure if you are ever becoming one of Shopee seller, you are going to be provided, or to be provided a land, a financing to scale up your businesses, because they do it in terms of data analytics, because they actually monitor your sales, and then how you use your money, how actually you use your Shopee, how you actually becoming serious to your businesses, monitoring risk efficiently. What about in accounting? You can do consumer behavior analysis, revenue analysis, inventory analysis, ratio analysis. That's what the big data can do in an accounting. I mean, I'm sure the customer behavior analysis, the data is coming from accounting. I know this is management data, but the accounting actually has the data in sales, how many, actually this person, how much money they spend in a year, and then what product sells the most, has the bigger margin, the inventory turnover, so we can decide what stock that we need to keep this year, so we can fulfill the customers and everything. That's what a big data can do. And for the students, just like what I told you, today, the increasing demand of competency and skills for students based on World Economic Forums. The increasing demand is data analysts and scientists. That's why I give you an awareness that this big data analytical skill is really needed. I'm pretty sure whether you are an accountant or whatever you are, management, economist, or maybe in another programs, you still need data analysis as a data analytical skill. They need big data specialists. They need AI and machine learning specialists. This is the increasing demand across industries. Remember, this is across industries. Process automation specialist, risk management specialist. Why risk management specialist coming to the 20th? Because risk management has been the computation of the risk is actually has been automated now. The data entry clerks you see here, if you really only think to be data entry, I think you need to put that away, because it is already decreasing. If you see in your country, the decreasing demand to become front office of banks is decreasing, because now many banks can be opened online. From the CCA professional quotients, the skills that you need, however, the skill that you need in business as a student, still what we need, the center of it is still technical and ethical skill. Remember, even I told you that you have and you need analytical skill. If you want to have a great analytical skill, you need still having a great technical skill. Okay, you are as a management, let's say as a financial management, you need to still be able to know how the finance work. You are a human resource management, you need to really be able to know the basic things on the technical things on how we recruit people, how we maintain people, everything for the basic for the human resource. But this is the center. The SCCA see this technical and ethical as a center. Why we have a technical here? Because if in the technical thing, why we have a technical here? Because ethical here. Because in the world of digital businesses, the challenge of to becoming more ethics is quite challenging. is quite increasing, because many people can do fraud, can do something unethical, because they have actually much more ways, let's say, to not pay tax and everything. This is still the center, but others experience, intelligence, creative, digital. The digital question is also needed. The awareness and application of existing and emerging technologies, capabilities, practices, and strategies. Remember, we have strategies here. You need to learn a lot, not only using the technology, but how the strategy of technology is comprehended. That's what you need. That's why uh, you need to have a digital quotient, but still the technical and ethical things is needed. I think this is the digital skill still. This is almost the same from the previous one, but mostly on the accounting, the leadership skill, people skill, business skill. But the examples is from accounting. However, the leadership skill, you still need this, the technical skill, people skill, influence, negotiation, communications. Remember, another, the CGA framework, the digital skill is put in the center, but still it needs to be ethics, integrity, and professionalism. Even if you have technical, business, leadership, people, but if you don't have the ethics, it's a nonsense. So how actually we can do that digital questions? Yeah, the optimal point you have, if you want to be optimal and having that skills, you learn, you do your continuous learning, you do on the job trainings, and you have qualification and continuous development, learning, certifications, and then that will become your optimal point, since you have a digital skills, you have business skills, and you have technical and ethical skills. That's what actually you need to do in the digital business. You cannot be you cannot say yourself that I'm going to be quite proficient in digital quotients, but you don't do your business skills. You never have on the job learning. Maybe you want to have on the job learning only 1 month. Try to spend your times when it is in vacations to do on the job training, maybe near your in the capital city or near your place, or maybe you have your parents have your own business. Do that and help them in their business. That's what we need to do in the as a students in the digital business. Discussion and everything need to be need to be always practiced. Another survey, just to give you emphasis on how actually analytical thinking, active learnings, especially analytical thinking, is the top 15 skills for 2025. You are now in the first, second, or the fifth semester. This analytical thinking is really needed. If you want to practice analytical thinking, maybe if you use a handphone, you need to have a why on your mind. Why and how? Why this is like this and how it can be like this one, blah, 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 blah. That's how we practice analytical thinking for the skill in digital business. However, do not worry, technology will support, not replace accountants or management and everything, because people are still irreplaceable, especially at higher level. That's why you need to be more strategic. And then if you have a business, adaptation is the key. If you are now in the studying, surround yourself to the right environment. If you have people who always been lazy, just don't be with them. Try to find another person. Still be friends with them, but try another persons. Find another friends and be busy improving yourself. that you don't have time to pay attention to anything or anyone that distracts you from your goals. In the context of the digital business, I need you all how actually that digital business quite affects me as a consultant, as a lecturer too. I'm a lecturer in accounting, Brawijaya, but I also have a consulting in Indonesia. Try to search consultant accountancy because I'm in Indonesia. That's why I optimize my website as consultant accountancy on Google. And tell me what you find on top in the first page. What website you find on top in the first page. You can put it in the chat. Try to search consultant accountancy on Google. What you find in the first page on top, after ads, okay, after the promotions, what website you found there? Anyone can tell what is it in the chat room?
Any students, you can ask, you can search for the accountant consultant on Google.
Anyone, can you please search? One person, they find Michael Aditya Surya. Anyone from other countries? Are you from Indonesia, Michael? I need to prove that my website, if you search with the common words, not directly with direct name, you still find my website on top in the first page. That's how we do and we work in digital business. Even if I am still my consulting firm is not at the level of big four accounting firms, but if you try to find consultant accountancy on Google, you will find UBICO.id on top of that. Can anyone verify from Singapore or Thailand or Vietnam or anywhere whether my page on the top page globally? Can you see it in the chat? Show us in the chat. We have 124 students. How many students we have from other countries? Anyone? Come on, give me a chat. What do you find? Mine is apa itu konsultan akuntansi, Pro Consult. Okay, there is a Pro Consult, the top one, right? But number 2, that should be ubico.id. Yeah, Ubico ID. Nur Farzana, you are from Indonesia, from your name. I need someone from other countries to verify. Accounting consultant, yeah, because you are Indonesian. Do you find ubico.id on top after the ads? I'm from Malaysia. Oh, Nur Farzana, you're from Malaysia. Oh, thank you. Ubico ID is number 2, right? Okay. Pro Consult sometimes is on top of us, sometimes number 2. But whatever it is, to become the first, the second, or the third in Google search engine is quite what is that? It's quite challenging to be. I never do Google Ads on my websites. But that's what I did because I know data analytics. I know how to find the keywords so Google will give my website to be on top if they find the people try to search using consultant accountancy. That's why the UBICO ID is the first in the page without ads. Okay, that's what I do. That kind of skills to be the first in the Google, which is that is not something you can what played off. That is original. That is organic from UBICO. I never spend a dimes on ads, so my website to be the first in the Google. And you know what? Until today, until today, I found a lot of clients which I don't know before from digital business, from Google. So you live it in digital world. So you need to think how people, how Google things, so you can be competitive in what is that? You can be competitive in your business. You're competitive. You can be well known all across the world. That's the last thing that I want to show you. Such a consultant accountancy. Maybe you already find UBICO. Then the last one, I need you how you actually can learn to do big data analytics and what is that? Big data analytics and for the visualization, at least for the visualizations, I taught my students they actually learning by themselves. I give them courses, but we have some practices in the class. They do the big data analytics and they visualize the data using Tableau. Anyone have been using Tableau to do the data analytics or data visualizations? I'll call a student from my class. Are you here? Where is it? A student from my class. Is it Galu? Are you there, Galu? Or maybe from another student from my class. Can you please raise your hands? The one who will be what is that? Showcasing how you do the big data, actually what data you are going to analyze, and then how do you visualize the data. Galu, are you there? Anyone from my class? Come on. Actually, I asked them to show, I gave them assignment last week to do data visualizations. And then I need you to showcase to our friends from outside the Indonesia. Galu, are you there? Can you raise your hand, Galu? So the
Yes, sir, but
okay, we have Galu here. So I'll stop my screen.
my Wi-Fi is really bad right
Okay,
now.
who will be from the class going to showcase how you do the Tableau for data visualizations here? Rosa, maybe, or we have Rosa Ayu. Can the committee unmute Rosa?
Um,
Oh, we have Galu. You can show how you do the data analytics in digital business, Galu.
I'm afraid Galu's Ramadhani connection is quite bad, sir. Looking at the red signal that she has.
Okay, well, what about you, Rosa? Can you do your...
I can screen share.
Sure. You can screen share it. Can the committee show let Galuh screen sharing? Oh, he's leaving. Can you, Galuh? Oh, maybe the Wi-Fi is quite... or maybe you can use your own data. So it's much more better. Okay, well, it's all right. Since we have a connection problem from Galuh side, I'm so sorry, or maybe Rosa, or any one of you. We have 6 students from international class, right? Maybe any one of you would show our friends from uh, other classes how you do the big data analytics and data visualizations. Okay, I'm so sorry, people, that we have connection problems. So I think we can go to question and answers, and then I let Mrs. I to help to hold the sessions, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ubaidillah, for the informative and interesting talk. Now I will start the Q&A session. Should any of the participants have any questions, please to use the feature raise hand on Zoom, and we will unmute you. Okay, is there any question? Okay, there are some people who chatted me through the direct message on the Zoom, Mr. Ubaidillah. So I will read the question for you. The first one is, apparently he wants to remain anonymous. The first one is that, based on your explanation, the number of people using the internet increase and influence people to do transaction online. Is there any danger for the internet dependency to the nation and the market? Yes, Mr. Ubaidillah.
Do I need to answer it directly, or you're going to let others?
Okay, you can answer it directly.
Oh, okay. About the dangers of the increase of internet usage, of course, there are dangers for the national security in every country. And it has already been taught actually for the Asian countries and other Asians. I know it is a little bit too late for Indonesia, so we just have what we call undang-undang privacy, personal, the privacy, I forgot. The law on the privacy, we just have it in Indonesia this year. And of course, it's dangerous. This is a dangerous, but I know governments will take steps to protect our national security. If you see or if you read some news that how Google's, Amazon's, and every big e-commerce that operating in Indonesia, they are required to put their server in Indonesia and required to have organizations or corporations that's based in Indonesia. Google now has PT Google Indonesia. And then Amazon, I don't know whether Amazon, they have already cooperation in Indonesia. However, in this borderless world, this issue has been addressed by our government. Sorry. It does increase the dangerous, but for us as an individual, we need also to comprehend these dangers and to have a healthy internet lifestyle. You might want to protect your identity, or you might want to to do, or maybe to set up your internet access through VPN, or maybe you want to have an original Windows and everything, because now Windows coming with the antivirus and anti-malware, the anti-malware of the Windows has already been quite good. Me, myself, usually using one of antivirus, but now I don't need to use that because I use original Windows. That's dangerous. Yes, of course, that's dangerous. But the thing, the higher, if you see, or if you know the statement that the higher the risk, the higher the returns. If you want to do, or you want to have a better benefit of internet users, the healthy internet usage needs to be pushed forward. Because if you want to protect ourselves through fully from a great dangers of internet, for negativity from the internet, it's not quite easy, because it is borderless, it is open. Even there will be no any government that can control internet, all of them. No, we cannot do that. That's how I think I respond to the questions.
Thank you. That sure, hopefully that answers the question. Okay. Okay, so there is another question from Miss Nur Fazana. I'm sorry. She would like to. I'm sorry. Okay. So her question is: in order to understand and be good at big data analytics, do I need to be good at programming language, and how to start learning for the beginners?
Okay. In programming language, basically, it depends on how you are going to achieve your goal to be expert in data analytics. Programming language, yes, it needs to be done, but basically, it's not quite. It's not quite advanced for you as a data analytics, and you can do it by subscribing to one of the course in what I use in my class is Udemy. I suggest you to learn my SQL first, and then after that you learn about Tableau, or maybe Google Data Studio or whatever you like actually. But now the most popular one is MySQL and Tableau. There is another data analytical tool that you can use, but however, uh, whatever tool you want to master, you want to know, you need to be master on it. Just like an application. Maybe some people like use Excel, some people like use Google Sheet, but whatever you are going to use, you need to be a master at it. Me myself is not quite advanced enough, but I'm learning. We are learning together with Rosa, with Galu, and everyone, that we need to learn Google. We need to learn data analytics, because that is something really needed for like 2 years from now, 3 years from now, especially for the accountants. That's what you need to do actually. Thank you.
Hopefully that answers the question. Shall there be any other question? Please use the feature raise hand on Zoom, or you can ask directly and we will unmute you. Or you can also write it down on the chat box. One last question for this training session. Okay, so there is a question from another anonymous person, Mr. Ubaidillah. I will read down the question. What do you think of Alibaba founder Jack Ma that in the future there is increasing people who will shop offline, as the experience and feeling of offline shopping cannot be replaced? Maybe this is in regards to the theme itself, which is the digital marketing.
Sorry. Can you repeat that questions?
What do you think of Alibaba founder Jack Ma, who said that in the future there is increasing people who will shop offline, as the experience and feeling of offline shopping cannot be replaced?
Yeah. Some people still will choose offline. That's cannot be replaceable. The experience of offline shopping is quite still needed, because we people like humans is a social species. They like to get in touch. It is better for us just to be in a room that we can show my what presentation just now. But however, that will be decreasing. You can try to analyze that, to observe that in your mall, in your stores, super giant or everything's near your home, but it is still decreasing. But that is not replaceable, but maybe it is once for a while, maybe for Saturday nights, for just to refresh our minds, to do a shopping. That won't be replaceable. You still need to have an offline store. I have my offline office, but I am available at the first page, the first line in Google. You can find it there. People still likes to see me offline. They come from 3 hours way, 3 hours to come to my city to meet me in person, because we are social one. So I do what is that? I agree. I couldn't agree more with what Jack Ma says. Thank you.
Okay, so there is one more person who asked question in the chat box, Mr. Ubaidillah.
Okay.
Ayushi Singh.
Yes, yes.
How
Use
this business analysis data courses can help student who is doing his or her MBA in HR or human resource.
well, HR. You know what? HR is the most complicated divisions in organizations. To maintain a great company, you really need a good human resources. Trust me. And humans is a social, changing, volatile, and everything. For me, if you are what the business analysis data can help you in HR, you can be a master in how you can analyze what people basically, if you have that data, of course, what people fits the organizations, what organizations really needs what types of people. If you have that data, which company, which peoples actually do greater performance in what industry, you will find actually the category of people that can be accepted in one company. If you can that, if you have that data from all company, or maybe from one company, maybe to be put in divisions, because in one company we have divisions, you will be able to allocate your resources correctly, so your company performance will be much better and much more efficient. You know, the efficiency of corporations basically depends on human resources. We are now having news that many startups laying off their performance. Do you think that they lay off the performance in Tokopedia and GoTo? They lay off 1,300 employees. I do believe they use data analytics to what is that, to decide which person needs to go. That's HR. Trust me. If you are in HR, in MBA or HR, if you have a thought and how you really can be able to select the best person in the best place, that will be much more valuable. That's it, Miss I. Oh, India. I used to sing India. India. Great. I have a friend from India in my when I was in UK. India. So we have friends from India too, right? Oh, great.
Yeah, we have some students from India. Actually, quite a lot.
Oh, great, great. Oh well, my a student of mine actually would like to. They contact me offline. Kinaya, are you there, Kinaya? Can you raise your hand so the what is that? Okay, Kinaya, can anyone give her
Yes,
a
sir.
right to unmute? Yeah, Inaya would like to show her work. Inaya would like to show her works in data analytics and basically in data visualizations. Uh, you can start, Kinaya. Maybe how many minutes you have, Miss I? You can start showing your works, Miss Kinaya.
The host still disabled to share, sir.
Okay, can the committee help us to let Kinaya share her screen?
Okay, maybe you can try sharing your screen.
Well, okay, okay. I have seen your screen, Kinaya. What we have here.
I take an example data for total populations. For the total data, it's actually consisting of total population since 1960 until 2021. The data for the total population in the 2021.
Okay, is it on? Do you have a business data from here? Uh, 52 Russian federations. Does it mean that 52 actually the total population? Oh, the country rank, right? Oh, I see, I see, I see, I see. So basically, can I show us the country rank of which one is the first, which one is 52 along country in 2021? And Russia Federation, he ranks, Russia ranks in 52. Is there any business data from here, Inaya?
No, sir. I think no. I just took the number of the total populations. It's
Okay.
only consisting of the rank of the most the country that has the highest number in populations of each country.
Of each country. China is 16. Yeah, from it is 1.4 million. Oh, because that is Russian federations, right? Who is the biggest one then? If China is number 16, you might have thought your validation, your data validations. But this is how my students learned to do the data visualizations. This is on total population in 2021. But from here, we can see that we also need to think whether our data is valid or not. But this is China, number 16. I thought China should be number 1, right? Or number 2 at least. So there should be, in analytical thinking, there should be, there will be needed data validations here. For your informations, people, that I ask my students to have public, what is that? Public data in GitHub or maybe in Kaggle or maybe in other, what is that? In other data sources. So they will show it in data visualization like this. And they do it on their own. They should be. Okay, thank you. Any other things you want to add, Kinaya?
I think no, sir. And I also doubt that the sources is provided and actually I can find the number one too. The number one.
Yeah, it might be a little country, but if China is not now, what about Indonesia? What number is Indonesia? Because there will be a big country, a small country that cannot be zoomed in then. 47. Okay. Yeah, I thought this is the matters is about the data validations. That's how we can get that. Okay. Any other one? It's already 15 after 5. Thank you, Kinaya. That's much appreciated. That's how we use Tableau in our class. So can you please get some data analysis course basically? Since I'm not an HR, but the course basically, if you don't have any basic knowledge on data analytics, you need to have MySQL. You need to know how MySQL works first. You need to learn how to do MySQL. And then you need to learn the Tableau visualization, just like what Kinaya has shown us. And then you can find from that actually analytical thinking what is needed. But that a course specifically related to HR, since I'm an accountant, I have no idea. But believe me, if you go to some LinkedIn, if you need to follow LinkedIn HR experts, usually they have the answers. I'm not HR expert, Miss UC Sings. I'm so sorry, but I suggest you to follow HR expert in LinkedIn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ubaidillah, and students who have asked and showed us a few things regarding the data collection. And so I think we have come to the end of the training session. That concludes the discussion with our training with Mr. Ubaidillah, and thank you for the awesome training material. We would like to say thank you again to
Thank you.
everyone. Hopefully,
Thank you
Mr.
for inviting me.
Mr. Ubaidillah's knowledge can be inspiration for all of us here. Maybe you can expand your knowledge, and then you may find yourself inspired to do more research regarding this topic. And so thank you for your attention, and see you again at our next training program. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. See you.